Well, one of the most talked about things from James Gunn is the new Batman. The new Batman movie is going to be called The Brave and the Bold, and we've got some very interesting details, so let's take a couple minutes to talk about everything we know about the new DCU Batman. Well, we've known for a while that James Gunn is doing some sort of reboot and reimagining of the DC universe, and now he has confirmed The Flash will reset everything. With this new universe, we're going to have a new Batman. And a lot of details have already been revealed about what's going to happen with this character. So let's dive into each one of them, what's going on, and where I think it's actually going. Now, first and foremost, we know that a new actor will take up the role of Bruce Wayne. This will not be Robert Pattinson or Ben Affleck, but we have heard rumblings that Ben Affleck could direct a DC project, and that very well could be the new Batman movie. Now, who he picks to take up this role, we're going to have to wait and see. We know the full Bat family has been established, we'll talk about that in a minute, and this suggests that this version of Batman might be around the same age as Ben Affleck, or at least older than the incarnation of Superman we're going to get, which is going to be in his 20s. Apparently this project will focus on the Batman and Robin dynamic, but for the first time ever, Damian Wayne will come to life in live action and be this Batman's boy wonder. Now, during the presentation, James Gunn did talk a little bit about Damian and said he will genuinely be a, quote, little shit. If you know Damian from the comics, this pretty much describes him perfectly. And I am curious on where they're going with Damian as part of this world, and also how old of an actor they're going to cast in the role. Honestly, I think they need to go young. Damian in the comics typically appears quite young, even though he is exceptionally skilled. He also is often incredibly hard to get along with, a key trait of Damian's personality. I think this dynamic between the two characters and the age difference could play big into how this movie comes together. Now, they also revealed this will be an introduction to the Bat family, but they didn't specify what this means, which suggests a ton of possibilities. First and foremost, we should look for some of the staples of Gotham City, including Alfred, Jim Gordon, and maybe even Lucius Fox. All are very important to Batman in any incarnation, and quite honestly, the mundane characters, the normal-ish people, are as important as many of the heroes. Now, with Damian Wayne being Robin, we have to ask ourselves, are there other Robins or former Robins as part of this new DCU? Quite honestly, Dick Grayson seems assured to me, and I would not be surprised at all if Nightwing plays some role in this movie. Now, where the other Robins fit in, like Jason Todd or Tim Drake, we're going to have to wait and see, but if Batman has already iterated through multiple versions of Robin, establishing a new Batman with a full history might be the way to go, and we could possibly see both Jason as the Red Hood or Tim Drake as Red Robin make some sort of appearance in this project. There are a lot of other heroes who are part of the Batman family, and I do suspect we will get at least one of them in this project. Barbara Gordon, Cassandra Cain, Stephanie Brown, Duke Thomas, or maybe even Luke Fox, especially if Lucius Fox shows up, all have distinct possibilities of being part of this new Bat family, especially if it is already established and we're just basically going to get introductions to these characters in the film. I really do hope we have a full history with Batman, so basically any of these characters can appear if the narrative and the story fits their role. The final real question is the villains, and we might have already been given a clue to that. Adding Damian Wayne basically means Ra's al Ghul is confirmed to exist in this world, and the League of Shadows could possibly play a role in the film. We know a lot of the plot lines involving Damian in the comics do indeed involve Ra's and the League of Shadows, so them as villains makes a lot of sense, and I think fans would be pretty excited to see Ra's come to life in live action once again. Also, the fact that a full family exists also means a full rogues gallery likely exists, and Arkham has a rather high population. The Riddler, Joker, Two-Face, and many more are most likely already in existence and already behind bars in Arkham Asylum. This allows Gunn and team some pretty flexible storytelling when establishing the Batman world, and honestly, there really is basically no hero in all of superhero-dom that doesn't need an origin story or a backstory. Dropping us into an existing Gotham with a whole herd of villains completely works, and I do think it's the way to go. Now, one thing with all these villains though is I do think they will avoid any crossover or confusion with what Matt Reeves has going on. This could very well mean that villains like the Riddler or the Penguin, who were a big part of the Batman, may not initially be part of the new DCU world and be in the Brave and the Bold project. It doesn't mean they'll never show up, but I absolutely do believe that Matt Reeves will work with James Gunn and his crew to make sure there's no confusion for fans as they establish these two very separate franchises over at DC Studios. Now, as of right now, we have no casting news or additional details about these projects. There's not even any rumored writers or directors, but seeing as how fast this news is coming at us, remember yesterday we found out James Mangold is taking up Swamp Thing? Link to that down below. I think it won't be very long before we find out some very interesting news about this project, and if they want to get it out in 2025 or 2026, it's going to start getting legs very soon. Obviously, establishing Batman in this new world is super important, and I do actually believe whoever takes up the mantle of Batman could appear a lot sooner than expected. I wouldn't be surprised if he even showed up in that Waller series we're going to talk about a few days from now.